I recently bought this new analog goggle, which is the Skyzone 040 Pro, because my previous goggle finally decided to kick the bucket after 5 years of bando abuse. And basically everyone on the internet is telling me that this is the goggle to get if you just care about analog. But when I took it out to fly the first time, I knew immediately that something is fucked. Like literally 2 seconds after taking off, I noticed insane latency, even more than the DJI setup that I was just flying. And also the image is just simply not smooth. And so, of course, I checked all my quad settings, checked my pit tune, checked my XpressLS settings, checked all the goggle settings, checked a different quad, but there was no change. And then I got on my phone and started Googling Skyzone 040 Pro latency. And what I found is one singular guy on Reddit in a comment section complaining about high latency, but he got destroyed so hard that he ended up deleting his account. And so there are two possibilities. Either me and this guy are wrong and the entire internet is right, or me and this guy are right and everyone recommending these goggles is just completely full of shit and has no idea what they are talking about. And of course, I had to find out for sure. And so, with the odds stacked against me, I started building a little latency test setup. And it works like this. I got flashing vertical bars on my monitor screen. Then I place the quad in front of it, place the mouse cursor in a way where it can be seen both in the goggle and on the monitor. And then I record both at the same time using my phone's 480 FPS slo-mo camera. And let's check the results for the 040 Pro. And here are the results. So 1 click is 2 milliseconds. And let's wait for the first bar to appear. It is. It has to, test criteria, it has to cross the mouse cursor on the screen. And then I count the frames from this frame until it crosses the mouse cursor on the goggle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 frames, so 38 fucking milliseconds. Then I enter this number into my spreadsheet and I do this 20 times, so 20 samples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And let's check out an actual good goggle in comparison. So this is the Fatshark HDO2, same test. Here comes the bar. 1. If I can, you see this? It's here and it's on the goggle. One, and it's already here, like two frames, 4 milliseconds. And here are the results of the 040 Pro with the TBS Fusion module, which on the Fatshark has exactly 0 milliseconds latency. So it definitely is a good module. We got average milliseconds of 29 with lows of 22 milliseconds and highs of 40. Which gives me a midpoint of the high and lows of 31, which best represents what it actually feels like. And here are the results of the Fatshark with both the rapid fire module and the TBS Fusion module, and basically got the same results. We got average latency of about 9 milliseconds and a midpoint of about 8, with lows of 2 milliseconds and highs of 14, which is also just exactly the physical limit of a 60 FPS video feed, because one frame takes about 16 milliseconds. So on average, you're gonna get half a frame of latency, which is 8 milliseconds. So an analog goggle literally cannot be faster than this 8 milliseconds. So the latency is confirmed terrible. And let's check out the video smoothness issue as well. And for that, I made this little frame pacing test, which moves this white box down by one spot at 120 Hertz. So since I'm recording at 480 FPS, it should move down one spot every 4 frames. Let's see if it works. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, definitely works. And if we run it in the goggle at 60 FPS, it should move down 2 spots every 8 steps, 8 frames. Let's see if it works in the Skyzones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, yeah, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it skipped the frame again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The fuck is happening here? What happened? What is this? Okay, as you can see, something is definitely not right and it's not smooth at all. And so with results this bad, what are the chances that my goggle is just simply broken? And so I got in my car and I drove 1 hour to the It's FPV headquarters because Ken also bought the same goggle. And I did all the tests and it's exactly the same. So what are the chances that all Skyzone goggles are bad? Well, luckily DoD has the old Skyzone 04X, the non-pro version. And after doing a little back-to-back test flying Whoop in the office, it was already clear that the Fatsharks have the best latency. The older 04X is slightly behind, but still very good. And the 04 Pro is just terrible. And DoD also placed the guess that his old 04X are about 15% slower than the Fatsharks. And when I ran the numbers, Skyzone 04X, the old one, 10 milliseconds. Which, if you do the math and factor in the full system latency, so pit loop included, is exactly a 10% increase. So he was like basically perfectly spot on. So don't fucking tell me that you can't feel the latency difference. And with that, we know that not all Skyzone goggles are affected and the older versions seem to be fine. But what about the 04X Pro, which is their latest high-end $500 analog goggle? And someone from my Discord was nice enough to lend me his goggle for this test. So big shout out to Pricks. And of course, I ran all the tests. And let's run the numbers on the 04X Pro in a mix 1 mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And here are the results. We got average latency of about 19 milliseconds, lows of 14, highs of 26, and a midpoint of 20, which is better than 34, but still pretty fucking terrible for an analog goggle. And I also tested all the other mix modes multiple times actually, and I got the same numbers, 19, 21, 19, which is like margin of error basically. And let's also test the diversity mode, because that is said to have the best latency. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Kind of weird half frame, but it does cross the cursor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4. Weird. But still again weird half frame. So in diversity mode it does seem to be a little bit faster with 16 milliseconds instead of 20. But that is all coming from these weird half frames which kind of just start in the middle of the screen for no good reason. So if you remove these and put an 8 here, it also jumps to 18 milliseconds, which is basically the same as the other modes, maybe tiny bit faster. And these weird half frames is probably also contributing to this goggle not feeling as smooth as the Fatsharks. It's not quite as bad as the 04 Pro, but it's definitely not as smooth. And as you've maybe already seen by looking at these column names and this folder structure, I am currently working on a latency test of all the goggles, which is all the analog goggles and all the digital systems, which is turning out to be pretty fucking time consuming and also expensive. So if you want to keep seeing this kind of unsponsored and unbiased reviews, please consider joining my Patreon that I created specifically for this purpose. It's kind of like a review fund, because otherwise making these kind of videos is completely unsustainable. And I'm also planning to make a motor review where I'm gonna test the 20 most popular freestyle motors and do a durability test, which is gonna cost about $1,000 just in materials. And I'm also planning to do the same for popular freestyle frames, which is gonna be even more expensive. So if you wanna see those, please consider joining the Patreon. And by making this full goggle test that I just mentioned, I already noticed one trend. And that is that every single other analog goggle is very close to the Fatsharks, maybe plus 2 milliseconds, maybe plus 4. Even the $70 box goggle from 5 years ago is only getting 10 milliseconds. So getting 20 milliseconds on a $500 goggle is completely unacceptable and just a failed product. Not even speaking of the 28 to 31 milliseconds on the 040 Pro. And to show you what kind of difference 10 or 20 extra milliseconds makes on my flying performance, I flew 2 packs on each goggle in my room using my little newbie drone Hummingbird. And to me at least, the difference in flying performance is very, very obvious. And all of these clips are the best couple seconds from 2 packs on each goggle. And just shitting on a product without being 1,000,000% sure is the last thing I want to do. But luckily, multiple people on my Discord server have tested multiple units of the Skyzone 040 Pro, the 040X, the Cobra SD, and also the M5 monitor. And they all got exactly the same results, which is about 28 milliseconds on the 040 Pro, 20 milliseconds on the 040X Pro, and also 28 milliseconds on the monitor and the Cobra goggles. So these results are definitely good. And they even all use different testing methods with LEDs and other setups. But this is still a review video, so let's just quickly go over the rest. I mean, for me it doesn't even matter because there's no way I'm flying this crap, but might as well just quickly go over it. The fit, comfort and weight is great on both goggles. The optics and screens look good on both goggles. And actually the field of view to me looks exactly the same. If anything, it's harder for me to see the corners on the 040 Pro than on the 040X Pro, even though it should be the other way around. But I can see the corners on both goggles if I use the thin foam and really tighten down the headband. So my eyes are really close to the optics, then it works. But otherwise it's hard to see the corners, yeah. The DVR quality is good on both goggles, but when using an external receiver module like a TBS Fusion or a Rapid Fire, the auto record feature does not work and you always have to start it manually, which would be okay if the included steady view receiver was actually good, but it's not. And here's a little side-by-side comparison of how it handles multipathing. On the steady view it's flashing all over the place, it's really hard to fly. And here in comparison is the TBS Fusion, which is completely fine. It's still flashing a little bit, but it's completely flyable and not distracting. And also the TBS Fusion does not fit into the goggle and you either need a janky 3D printed mod or you need this huge clunky external module bay, which seems to be constantly sold out anyways. The Rapid Fire module does fit into the goggle, but it seems like you can't really buy that either at the moment. So yeah. But what about digital VRX support and HDMI in? This in theory should be good because that's literally what these goggles are made for. At least the 040X Pro. So I flew a little simulator on each goggle and the results were quite surprising. The Voxner Goggle X performed the best and felt very good. Then second place is the Fatshark, which is slightly worse. Then third place is the O4X Pro, which is significantly worse than the Fatshark. And then the O4O Pro, which is even worse still. And when I ran a little latency test, I got the same results. On my 300 Hz laptop screen, I guessed a latency of 18 milliseconds, and it was actually 20. On the Fatshark HDO2, I guessed 34, and it was 32. On the Goggle X at 100 Hz, I guessed 24, and it was 29. On the O4X Pro, I guessed 42, and it was 48. And on the O4O Pro, I guessed 48, and it was 50. And I only tested the O4X Pro at 60 Hz because it refused to be recognized as a 100 Hz display. But in this test, I only did 2 samples, which is not enough for an accurate number. And I also didn't test just the latency of the video, but the full end-to-end system. So this 20 milliseconds on the laptop screen also includes the radio and USB latency and the simulator latency, including the pit loop. And with that, the search for my next analog goggle continues, and I'll hopefully find it when finishing the full test of all the goggles. So again, if you want to support me with these tests, check out the Patreon, because that's kind of the only way to somehow make this viable. Because YouTube ad revenue is not even close to covering the cost on these videos.